Hello class. This is my next video where I'm going to be answering the final two questions that I have from you. The first question is from Zach S. He asks, are the Vikings still alive? The short answer is yes, but no. The original Vikings, the ones that you've all heard stories about that raided and pillaged and plundered and explored the world, are gone. But they still live on because we know about them. They live on through poetry, they live on through literature, they live on through song. They live on through the traditions that have been passed down through the generations. Scandinavia is full of Viking culture. It is still alive and well there. There are many traditions that they still follow all these years since. Another thing that keeps the Vikings alive, like I said it a little bit ago, is their descendants. People that trace their ancestry, that see that they were related to these fearsome warriors and these wonderfully complex people. Another thing that keeps the Vikings alive are reenactors. People that study the culture, learn about everything, and then try to recreate what the Vikings were doing back in the Viking era. And then one thing that you might not think of that keeps the Vikings alive are words. The Vikings left many words behind that we use in English today. Words like wrong, which is Old Norse, is rang. Ugly, which was uglig. There are days of the week that are named after the Viking gods. You have Tuesday, which was named after the god Tyr, so it's Tyr's Day. Wednesday, which was named after the Allfather, the god Odin, Woden's Day. Thursday, which was named after the god of thunder himself, Thor, Thor's Day. And then finally Friday, which was named after the goddess Freya, for Freya's Day. There are many other words or root words that we use today still. Club, berserk, slaughter, husband, law, dirt, muck. These words all came from the Vikings. So, like I said, short answer, no, they're not around anymore. They're not alive. But long answer, yes, they are. We keep them alive by being interested in their culture, interested in the things that they did, and carrying on the traditions and even the words that they left behind. The last question I have is also from Zach S. He asks, what is your most valued treasure? So I've thought about this ever since I've gotten your questions, trying to figure out what the best answer for that would be. Because there's many obvious answers. It could be this beautiful amber Thor's hammer that I'm wearing. It could be the stereotypical Viking answer, which would be my sword or my axe or my sax. The Vikings were a warlike people. However, they were very introspective, very spiritual, and very learned. There is a whole series of poems called the Poetic Edda that I highly suggest if you're interested in Viking culture or Viking stuff at all. It's worth a read. Your teacher will be able to point you in a direction to pick up a copy or to find it. But in the Poetic Edda, they talk about all the stories of the Norse gods. And there's some very fascinating ones in there. But while I was thinking about what my most valued possession was, it occurred to me that the Poetic Edda speaks about it. And I will say this. My most valued possession is my name. Hear me out. The Vikings believed that you were a sum of your deeds here on earth and the deeds of your forefathers. The most important thing for a Viking would be to have a good name. Names were everything. Names gave you power, told who you were. They would inform people of what kind of person you were or what to expect. And names lived on long after someone was gone. So that is why it is very important to have a good name. The Havamal, which is one of the poems in the Poetic Edda, has a group of verses, and one of them talks about names. And it says, "Cattle die and kinsmen die, and also one day shall you. But I know of one thing that never dies, and it's the name of a good man." I hope I've answered all your questions. I really appreciate you sending them to me. I've rather enjoyed answering them for you. I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you want to know more, please talk to Dr. Gaynor. I'm sure she would love to point you in the direction. And I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Thank you.